Welcome back to the channel, man. And I think I got a pretty good video idea tonight, or well, today. I'm recording this tonight, but you'll probably see it the next day. And today's topic we'll be talking about is the future of America brown. And what I mean by that is like, is it gonna be like Hispanic? And here's the reason I asked that. So I've been watching like a lot of fucking like studies and stuff like that. I've been looking at studies and shit, and usually they said by one of the most popular studies that says by 2050 that a majority of the population in America is gonna be brown. But I don't think it's gonna happen as slow as they said it was in 2050. I was thinking more like 2035, because there's some studies that suggest that by 2035 it's gonna be like will be like Hispanic people will be the majority. And yeah, man, I think it's a pretty cool topic to talk about. You know me, I love everybody. It don't matter what you look like, what your nationality is, your race. We're all cool over here, you know what I'm saying? Spread the love. And everything I will be talking about, I'll link the sources, or I'll throw up a thing while I'm editing so you can see what the fuck I'm talking about. So here's their shit. Hey, look at my phone. So here's a study from Stanford. I actually seen this because I was on Instagram. I was scrolling, and if y'all know what the food community is, it's like a blog page for like Hispanics, but it's ran by some Mexicans out in California. It's a pretty funny meme page, but it's more like it's a music like blog page, but like they also post like the news and stuff. Latino small business owners are the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs in the United States. Now, this study comes from Stanford University. It says over the past 10 years, the number of Latino business owners grew 34% compared to 1% for all business owners in the United States. According to a recent study from Stanford University, and more Latinos than ever are applying for small business loans to launch or grow their operations. The growing success of Latino small business owners comes as Latinos are increasingly becoming an economic force in the United States. The same Stanford study found Latino-owned businesses contribute about $500 billion to the economy. Latino business owners tend to be younger than non-Latino business owners. Roughly 33% of Latino entrepreneurs are younger than 45, compared to 22% of non-Latino entrepreneurs. Man, shout out to the food community, because I would have never known something like that if I didn't read, or like if I wasn't on Instagram. Now, I think that's pretty cool. And I like to like I look at other like Hispanic people, because like I work in construction and shit like that, and I see all types of like Migos. You ain't gotta be Mexican, you just gotta be like Hispanic. They'll have their own type of like business going on. They have their own work, man. Their own places to get fucking material, connects on where to get this stuff, or even line you up with a job opportunity. I think that's pretty cool. And I like I think about it like it's just that natural hustle. Like you'll see the ice cream man in the neighborhood. He's like strolling by, you know, drop, or the dude who sells elote and shit like that. You know, street vendors type shit. You know, we got that shit on lock right now. I ain't gonna cap. Now let me see. Here's some other stats I also run. Alright, I also seen this study. I'll see if I could link this one as well. It's not something that I have right here, but I just know it off the top of my head. As white Americans having a lower birth, it's that white Americans having a low birth rate compared to Hispanics. Now I'm not sure if you noticed, but like over like the past like couple of years, as America has become more and more modernized and stuff like that, where it's like people like America is not like a third world country or a developing country. You know, the supermarkets right there, the malls right there, the gas stations right there. There's like food on every other corner. So like, you know, it's pretty developed. And usually when a country gets developed and stuff like that, birth rates go low, and I think suicide goes up as well. Because it's not only happening in America; it's happening in places like Korea, Japan, any country, the UK and stuff like that. Countries that are really modern and stuff like that, if they tend to have falling birth rates and a high suicide rate. It's and it's probably because people don't have nothing to do, you know, or they don't think they have nothing to do. They don't find something to do. Now, when I think about it, I see like a lot of like Hispanic families. We had like big Hispanic families, and like Americans used to do that like 100 years ago, like after World War II. When the boomers was around, type shit. You'll see like because back then everyone was like more religious and stuff like that. There was no like Plan B, no condoms. Well, there was. I think there were condoms, but like you know, people wasn't pulling out and shit like that. No birth control, no abortions and nothing. So people was having babies back then, but now they like because of technology and stuff like that, these kind of slow down and stuff like that. You know, I'd be looking at like Mexican families and stuff like that, or any like Hispanic family in general, really. But like they'll have three families living in one house and just saving money, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. I actually see a lot of like other like immigrant groups like Indians, Asians. They also do this too, and it's one thing that I say Americans don't. I think they do it, but like not to the extent immigrants do it. And basically, in that household, they'll be able to save money, buy more property, get into real estate, start a business and shit like that. Because it's family and stuff like that. Family will always look out for each other. They say don't mingle family and business, but I disagree. I think it's kind of stupid. You should probably if strangers asking strangers to help you like get successful is kind of odd when you think about it. When 9 times out of 10 your family could probably help you do that, and it'd probably be quicker too. Well, that's my first point. I'll try my hardest to see if I can link a graph to it. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to. Immigration from Latin American countries into the United States. So like, if you notice, the only two I guess a majority white populated countries would be Canada and America, but everything below that is kind of like like brown. If you really think about it, like ethnically brown and like Hispanic. And when you think of it, like I don't know, fuck, I'm not sure if people notice, but like it's basically just fucking a numbers game at the end of the day. It's, when you think about it, it's really just numbers. All right, this next article comes from the United States Census Bureau, and the title is called "Hispanic Population is Younger but Aging Faster Than Non-Hispanic Population." Number of Hispanic children grew 2010 to 2020. The data shows one in every four children, 25.7%, 18.8 million in the United States were of Hispanic origin in 2020, up from 23.1% from 17.1 million in 2010. States with the largest percentage point increase in their population of Hispanic children over the decade. Connecticut up 6.5% percentage points, Maryland up 6.5, Rhode Island up 6.2, New Jersey up 5.9, and Florida up 4.9. Among them, New Jersey and Florida each added over 100,000 Hispanic children over the decade. Florida experienced the largest numeric increase across all states, adding over 250,000 Hispanic children to its population from 2010 to 2020. In 3 of the 5 states, Connecticut, New Jersey, and Rhode Island, the total number of children declined between 2010 and 2020, while the number of Hispanic children increased. So that's kind of crazy. So 1 in every 4 kids that's in school is basically Hispanic. It's a lot of no Sabo kids. Multiracial Hispanic population grows most in the South. Figure 3 highlights the changes in race reporting from 2010 to 2020. The Hispanic population in the South saw the biggest changes in race reporting patterns. In 2010, the majority of the Hispanic population in the South reported their race as white alone, 62.9%. By 2020, only 23.2% reported as white alone. All regions saw a decrease in white alone reporting for the Hispanic population over the decade, with the sharpest decline nearly 40% in the South. In 2020, the Hispanic population reporting 2 or more races, referred to in this story as the multiracial population, was the highest, 37.9% among the Hispanic population in the South. I get, so if I was to fill out a government form at the doctor's office or any other type of form, they'll usually have, I usually click the white box because I'm not really multiracial like that. I got pale skin. Kind of gives it away. The Hispanic population reporting as some other races alone increased the most in the Northeast from 38.3% in 2010 to 48.2% in 2020. In contrast, the Hispanic population in the Northeast reporting as Black or African alone, referred to this story as the Black alone population, decreased from the most compared to all other regions from 7.2 to 4.8 during this period. Comparisons between race data in 2020 and 2010 census should be made with a caution, taking into account improvements to the Hispanic origin and race questions and changes in the way responses were coded in 2020 census. So basically, they're talking about how in the census, when they would do it, a lot of Hispanic people, when they would put race, basically saying that the whites they would identify as more than just they'll be a multiracial ethnic identity, I guess. It says here in the census, multiracial Hispanic population now oldest Hispanic group. The shift in the median age of Hispanic population over the past decade varied by race. While the total multiracial population had the group's youngest median age, 29.5 of all race groups, the multiracial Hispanic population had the oldest median range, 31.3, across all Hispanic by race groups. The multiracial Hispanic population aged the fastest by 10.8 years from 2010 to 2020. The oldest multiracial Hispanic populations were in the states and the states' equivalents, with large Hispanic populations such as Puerto Rico, median age 45.3, Florida 39.6, and New Mexico 35.1. Comparisons between race in the 2020 and 2010 census should be made with caution, taking into account improvements to the Hispanic origin race question. Okay. So it's basically like a lot of like Hispanic people. Usually in like Latin America, there's like most people want to date like people of the same like culture, and maybe that kind of looks like them too. Say if you're like I don't want to say it's colorism, but like in like a lot of Hispanic countries or Latin American countries, they would prefer someone of lighter skin. But I think that's a bunch of horse shit, honestly. I think that's coke. Maybe he's just not that attractive in the first place. And, a lot of people are dating outside the race now, so like a lot of white girls is gonna have some like Hispanic looking kids and shit. And basically, what does that mean? Well, I'll tell you what it means. It means that like, like the next 10, 15, 20 years, America is gonna be a lot different than from what it was like 100 years ago. Like, like a lot, like culture wise, language is spoken, and just different. And what the population really looks like. No, it's not. This is not like no race or like trying to like fuck. And I think this is a pretty cool census. I just like to stay informed of what I just like to stay informed on shit like this. And I guess like not like the older I get, like the more I like to speak Spanish and shit. Because who wants to go around being Hispanic but not speaking Spanish? You basically just water yourself down. I mean, no one wants to do that. Why not have the best of both worlds? But I think this is it for the video. What y'all thinking below? Let me know. You you fuck, me. I support interracial dating, race mixing, whatever you want to call it. You know, we're all equal before the eyes of God. So that's all that really matters. We are different, but we're all kind of the same in the eyes of God. But like, comment, dislike,